50%, let us say you have 50% criteria, you will enter the criteria. Now let us say we had 5 marks for that particular CO. Your criteria of attainment threshold criteria is 50%. That means if student is achieving more than 2.5, that particular criteria is achieved. So that's how we are doing the calculations. Number of students above this threshold mark. So some formula is placed here. Count if this cell values, if this cell value is greater than our criteria, this is the criteria 2.5, then it will provide us what is the attainment. So 5 students are above this 2.5 threshold value. Thus percentage attainment you will calculate. How many students achieved it, how many students were in that course, and according to that we will get this particular value. Let us say 45% achievement is there, and in attainment level, depending upon this criteria, it will calculate what attainment we have achieved on the level of 1, 2 and 3. Since this is 45%, we will definitely have level 2. So for this again, one equation or formula is used. This is if this cell F32, this is F32 cell, if F32 cell is less than 40, then attainment is 1. If your F32 cell is less than 80, attainment level is 2. And if your F32 cell is greater than 80 as per our criteria, then it will return value 3. So this is been placed here, and simply for this particular table, it is just doing transpose of this particular attainment. Okay, so ये read कर रहा है basically. This cell is reading what is entry here. This cell is reading what is entry here, D33. This cell is reading what is the entry at E33, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let us see. Let us say we have entered all the marks in each and individual assessment type. Let us say assignment 1, assignment 2, quiz 1, quiz 2, quiz 3 इसमें entry हो गई. Now I am opening the file in which I have entered all of these data. Okay, so just see this sample. This file name is COPO attainment sheet example MPOS course. You may open this file to see how entries are being entered. So this data for assignment 1, students performance data for assignment 2, for all quizzes, for midterm examination. Let us say again there were few questions. Let me show you OB data for midterm examination. So in midterm examination there were 4 questions. Question 1 and question 4 was related to CO1. So I have taken addition of these two questions, and I have calculated what is the addition of the score attended by the student, and CO1 totally had 20 marks. So that is the 20 entry here. Then I have copied this and pasted it here, so and so forth. Similarly for CO2, similarly for CO3, and these attainment values we got directly. And finally, if you see, similarly we will do this exercise for end semester examination also. And once you go to this particular final CO attainment sheet, there is a sheet called as overall CO attainment towards the end, second last sheet. Here it is reading the calculated attainment from previous sheets. So this particular cell, if you see, this is reading sheet assignment 1 and cell C36. तो ये C36 में जो भी वैल्यू था अपना, this is C36. That is been simply read here by this particular cell by applying this formula. And similarly we are doing for all CO1 values for all of the different assessment types. Similarly, we have done for CO2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So formulas are applied here. And then finally, we have calculated the attainment level. So if you see here, it is nothing but weighted sum divided by sum of the weights. A simple formula is put here to calculate total attainment for CO1. So CO1 may we had only 2 attainments here. So formula will do addition of 2 plus 3 divided by weightage for that particular assessment was मिड टर्म का वेटेज था अपना फाइनल असेसमेंट में 100 में से लेटर से 30% था. सो 0.3 एंड टर्म का था लेटर से 0.5. सो 2 plus 3 divided by 0.3 plus 0.5. So it will return some value. Okay. So like that we have calculated the attainment levels for COs. So this is direct attainment. If 2 plus 3 divided by 0.3 plus 0.5. Yes. Just a minute. D10. यही से कर रहे सर. We are adding these weights. Just all calculate weights. All weights. Okay. Then we get these values. These are the direct attainment values. Similarly, if you have done indirect assessment by course exit survey form or any other method, you will put these values for all COs manually in this particular column. And then for overall attainment on scale of 3, as depending upon the criteria set by your program committee or department, let us say 80% of direct assess attainment plus 0.2 or 20% of indirect assessment. So you will get this particular value here. So currently what I have put here is 0.8 into direct attainment and 0.2 into indirect attainment. So this particular cell. So currently let us say I don't have indirect assessment, then in that case simply you will read this particular cell. So it will become 1 into L11 and this you will delete. It depends upon how you are calculating. And then simply I have converted into percentage values. So here simple formula is applied. O11 divided by 3 because we are converting scale of 3 into 100% into 100. Okay, so percentage attainment we have received using this sheet, and then we will decide the threshold criteria or attainment criteria and we'll put these values. So let us say depending upon complexity of your particular course, you will say that for CO1 my attainment criteria is 50. Similarly for CO2 it could be anything else, but typically we try to put same. So let us say we have put same attainment criteria for all of the COs. If no, this is attainment criteria. Attainment criteria for the component, and here the 50% threshold is for the CO. Both are different. Both are different. This is the threshold for seeing what is the minimum number of marks you are looking by the student to say that they have gone above that particular threshold. So this will take different, both values could be different. Okay. So here we have got criteria for threshold that again have to be decided by entire department or program committee, or individual students can do, but typically it is recommended that whole program will have same threshold level. And here we are putting what is यहाँ पे गलती हो गई है. So this is not threshold criteria, this is the attainment criteria. So attainment criteria, let us say we are keeping same again, 50% is the attainment criteria for all COs. It could be different depending upon the complexity of the particular CO. That again has to be determined by the course coordinator who is teaching that course. Let us say he's saying that CO3 is bit of difficult unit, it is related to the unit which is very difficult, so he can then lighten that criteria or increase also that criteria. And if now my attainment is greater than whatever criteria we have set, we will say that we have achieved this particular CO. So this is the attainment levels right now. So we could have some observation. For an example, it is written that CO1, CO4, 5 and 6 typo is there, has high attainment. Second observation is that CO2 and CO3 have relatively low attainment. It is 28% and 44% respectively, which suggests that there is a potential area for improvement for the teacher. So in this case, teacher have to come up with some action points. Let us say CO2 had only 28% attainment. So to now get into the further level, what improvement teacher need to take. So let us say my CO2 was analyzed forecast for company's product and location of the facilities. So action point could be provide additional practice problems on the demand forecasting and facility location models. Include case studies in the class discussion. Organize a guest lecture from professionals on analytical problem solving in the operations. Similarly, CO3 had attainment of 44%. So again, action point, the course instructor, let us say, recommend some or put some action plans. Use real world industry case studies for dynamic capacity management. Conduct group activities for students to design capacity plans under uncertainty. So it depends upon what course content you are teaching for that particular CO, and according to that you put some action points. And depending upon that, in the next academic year, when you are teaching this course again, you have to show that for these action points, what you have done. Did you have organized some guest lectures? You have to show that plan, and you have to show attendance that students were there. Similarly, if you have taken additional problems, additional class for additional problem solving, again you have to show that you have organized extra lecture and taken that particular problems, so that more students can get idea of that particular type of the questions. So according to that, you will create some action points and you will implement these action points in next academic year. And this overall attainment sheet has to be signed by course coordinator, program coordinator or committee, whatever committee you are saying, and finally head of the department. This has been typically followed at various institutes. Okay, so instead of course coordinator, here name will be the program committee or whatever you want to say. And lastly, PO attainment. So in your course information file or in your CIF, you could have already created this course articulation matrix. These values are available to you guys. According to this, you have to enter these values manually. ये manually enter हो जाएगा. These attainment we are copying from this particular cell. So these are the cells where we have calculated overall attainment on scale of 3. We are reading these particular values here. This will come automatically here. And then to get COPO attainment, again some equations are used here. This is going to do, if you see multiplication, simply this overall attainment into this value divided by, so just a minute.
This overall is coming down. It should have been less than 1.
नहीं सर 2.1 है ना. So it is, just a minute.
No, 2.11 was there.
D9. So this cell into C9.
Into 3 divided by 3.
Okay, this into this divided by 3. So simply it is coming the attainment on scale of 3. So same formula is set for all the cells. If there are no entries in particular cells, the formula will enter no values here because you didn't have any COPO mapping. So for that again some formula is set. If there is some value only, then it will return the value. If any calculation is not there, it will simply return blank. Okay, and thus we have calculated COPO mapping for all particular COs and all POs and PSOs. And then in overall attainment, it is simply average of all these. So this is nothing but average of all these attainments.
Into this divided by 4.
And this particular attainment, this line will go into your SAR for each academic year, for each course. This is for only one course. So how many programs you had in your particular curriculum, according to that you will get PO attainment from, let us say this is MPOS course, that line will be there and code of the course will be there. Similarly, you will create a big table showing the individual course attainments with respect to the POs. Okay, so please open this template, and there is OB data provided for, let us say a sample data is provided for MPOS course. You can use this data if you want. Try to put these values in the template given, and then you will get the attainment calculations. Any questions?
From my side, that is threshold attainment percentage. Explain.
Just a minute.
ये समझ आ रही है थ्रेशोल्ड को डिफाइन करते हुए समझ आया कैलकुलेट करना.
So for this course, let us say I had 6 COs applied to different Bloom's levels. Okay. Then I have created this COPO correlation matrix. How I have created for this? Let us say I have given 3 as a value for COPO, PO1 to PO1 mapping. For this, I have to give the justification. Let us say CO1 is apply analytical skills and problem solving tools to resolve operational issues. That is my CO1. I have given mapping of 3. Bloom's taxonomy L3 apply. Verb, whatever verb I have used apply verb, and justification I have to write. Requires application of engineering knowledge and problem solving techniques to production and operational challenges. Due to this, I can say that I am giving 3 as the COPO mapping for CO1 to PO1. Similarly, for all 6 COs, you have created this kind of mappings, and according to that, finally you will create the COPO course articulation matrix. That is clear to everyone. There is again another way to do this mapping. So if you have seen this particular examination reform policy of AICTE published in November 2018. So for each PO, they have given some competency things, and they have given some performance indicator criteria also. So whatever statement of CO you have written, if it covers some of these indicators, according to that, again you do some of the calculations, you may develop another Excel sheet, and based upon that, if your CO statement is matching to, let us say, indicator 1.1.1, 1.1.3, if it is matching to 2 or 3 indicators, then you can see that my value is 2. If it is more than 3, in that case you can say that if my CO statement is matching to the PI values, performance indicator statements at 4 levels, in that case you can have COPO relationship of 3. So that way you can also create your COPO mappings. Once you have this COPO correlation matrix, then you have to do setting target of CO attainment. Then like I told you, there are different methods to follow or to set the CO attainment criteria. First one will be individual CO assessment. So depending upon what contents you have covered for that particular CO and the complexity of that particular CO, you can define the criteria, attainment criteria for that particular CO. Else, there could be data-driven approach also. Data-driven approach, for this example, what we can do for your course for past 3 years, what was the average mark got achieved by the student in that particular CO. So let us say in CO1 for past 3 years, the average, let us say of 5 marks. Then your data-driven approach, your attainment should be more than 5 marks. Okay. Again, considering course difficulty, like I said, your course could be very difficult. In some of the mechanical courses like FEM is one of the tough course, or maybe mathematics 3 could be tough course. So for that you can define relatively less CO attainment criteria. So it is freedom of the course instructor which attainment criteria you are defining, and nobody is going to question you, but you have to tell, you should be very clear that why you have set it in that way. And at the end of the calculation, we have to say that whether we have achieved that attainment or not. If achieved, we could raise the bar. Let us say we have set the 50% of the criteria of attainment, we can put at a 55 or 60 for next year. If for any of the CO attainment is not achieved, in that case you should write what are your action plan to improve that attainment, and then in your next academic year you have to show the records whether you have implemented that action plans or not. In the next year again, if you are not attending, then again you will improve your action plans. But there should be well-defined procedure to do it. Else, you will lose marks there. So as a faculty, we have to take care of this. Again, another method of setting CO attainment is the Bloom's taxonomy. For again this, you can refer to the examination reform policy of AICT. That will help you a lot to understand how to create the COs based upon the Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, this I think I have explained setting target for CO. So you could do something like that. Average marks in the course in past 3 years and minimum criteria, threshold based criteria. If you achieve this, then you will say that CO attainment is fulfilled. Then levels, how you define the levels, again it is the task of the departmental committee to define these attainment levels. For instance, at LNM IT we are following 0 to 40% represent to attainment level 1, 40 to 80% attainment level 2, and more than 80% attainment level 3. And this sheet I have already explained you will get this attainment chart. So let us have some hands-on. If you have any questions on that, you can ask me.
कोई भी जो आपने हाँ यही कोई सिस्टम ये थ्रेशोल्ड हमने फिक्स कर दिया ठीक है अब नेक्स्ट यहाँ नीचे आइए सर
So how many students are getting more marks than this threshold?
Then this threshold, this
ठीक.
calculation will come here.
आपने आपने
So
एक
एक करके
किया
this is
हाँ यही खोल लीजिए सर
हाँ MPS.
असाइनमेंट 1 खोल लीजिए एक बार सो ये ऊपर 50%
threshold है
50. So how many students are crossing this threshold?
threshold
So that is 9.
9.
So based on that, we are getting this. We have attained.
8. Yeah. So this is simply a 9 out of 11. That's why we are calculating 80%.
So, that is attainment. And CO threshold, CO value we can set. CO will be that you have defined now that 0 to 40.
So this is the percentage attainment. When on level of 1 to 3, we have defined these levels 1 to 3.
I thought we have to define this CO attainment also.
So this has been defined now. Both of the things we have to define. We have to define threshold also.
No, just like we are defining threshold now, sir. So like that we have to define the CO is 50, CO is 40, like that. But here we are defining range.
No,
only.
we are defining the ratio.
So for CO we have to define range. only.
Okay. Please try to do some calculations, some sample calculations. If you have any questions, you can ask. Any questions? Online participants, any questions? कैसे देखेंगे? Any questions, online participants? This is the same thing what we are doing in course also. But here you can see what calculations we are doing. ठीक है सर। आपको
नहीं मैं तो अपने दूसरे कोर्स का डाटा भी करना है।
इसमें फिर नंबर ऑफ रोज Okay, so with this we conclude this session. I would like to thank Dr. Saini and Kusum ma'am for inviting me for this particular session.
गौरव सर फोटो और आपको संतोष सर आप फोटो
अरे इसकी क्या जरूरत है?
नहीं सर क्योंकि जरूरत है संतोष सर से दिलवा दो ना आपकी एचओडी भी है वो इसकी अच्छा संतोष सर सर से दिलवा दो फोटो
देखना ही